other side, some personal benefit, so it's definitely conditional love. But love and compassion can actually really thrive in our hearts if we're not so busy. Right? When we have the space in our mind. This is why it's so important, because what really makes us miserable is our self-grasping, being just concerned for our own well-being, etc. True love, really looking at others, wishing for them to be happy. That's love. And wishing for them to be free from suffering and working towards that. That's the only way to experience true happiness. Okay? So another reason why we need to let go, we need to learn, we need to find that we can't find that self we're so concerned about, in order to then generate other states of mind that are totally healthy, good for our own well-being, for the well-being of others, and bring us the happiness we so yearn for. It logically makes total sense, doesn't it? Pardon?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. No. Why? No.
Why is it so difficult? That's the question.
Yeah. Wow. It's difficult just because there's a mind going, no, no, I'm here. Right? We're so used to this I, like we're so habituated to think of I. In every second, we're up against something extremely powerful, not only on a course level, even on a subtle level. That's why it's difficult. But everything becomes easy through familiarity, as Shantideva says. There's nothing that doesn't become easy through familiarity. Right? And it's worth it. If the result is more happiness, more well-being. Right? Alright, okay, I'm off again.
You're on the track.
Yeah. Alright, so, verse 19. So, if error has not arisen, how could it come to exist? If error is not arisen, how could one be in error? So, in terms of the future, if it hasn't arisen yet, I can't say I'm in error because it hasn't arisen yet. There's no one to be wrong if it happens in the future. So, that's the analysis with regard to the 3 times. And then the next one, verse 20, this is actually explaining everything that came previous, because when we talk about phenomena arising, coming into existence, again, they're only a limited possibility. Either something arises from itself, or it arises from something other than itself. And if it exists inherently, and nonetheless it arises, either has to arise from itself, that it doesn't depend on, because you're not dependent on yourself, you can only be dependent on something other than yourself, or it arises from something that you're totally disconnected to. And that's what we're going to discuss in the first chapter, so no need to get into it. But like, have we ever stopped to think, how does a sprout arise from a seed, right? How does the sprout arise? What is it within the seed? Is it already in the seed? Is there already like a baby sprout in there that now kind of gets uncovered? Or how do you get from a cause and effect? And if something existed inherently, that would be impossible. Either it would already be in the seed, or it would just pop up totally unrelated to the seed. Okay? If it existed inherently. And so therefore, an entity does not arise from itself, nor from another. Only if it existed inherently, that's what would take place. And then not from both, it doesn't arise from both and other, and also it doesn't arise from neither. Right? So how could one be in error if there's error that it arises in dependence on causes and conditions, but we can't pinpoint those causes and conditions because either one or different, and neither makes sense. And it will be explained in the first chapter, but it's not clear to you yet. So usually the first chapter has preceded this chapter, which is why it's mentioned here, but it will be more explained in the first chapter. So, here it goes on to say, if the self and the pure, the self being, remember these 4 wrong views I mentioned early on, perceiving a self where there's none. Perceiving my mind, my body right now as being pure, as being faultless. perceiving it as permanent, and perceiving my experiences as true happiness. Those are 4 wrong views that at some point or other we suffer from. Okay? The things we strive for, our worldly kind of happiness, we see them as true happiness, lasting happiness. We see our mind and body as something pure. Okay? Other people's minds and body as pure, something desirable. Faultless, we perceive of the self, and we perceive of mind and body as permanent. So, if the self and the view of the pure, the permanent, and true happiness, if that existed, if that were in accordance with reality, then of course the view of a self, the pure, permanent happiness, would not be wrong. Okay, we can all agree with that. If we really had a self, if we really were permanent, then the view that is described as a wrong view wouldn't be wrong. Okay. And he goes on to say, if the self and the pure and the permanent and happiness are non-existent, then the non-self, the impure, the impermanent and suffering do not exist inherently. Right? Why? Because it says non-self. If the non-self is correct, then our perception of that as being pure and impure, having no self, being permanent and in the nature of happiness, the nature of suffering, that would be only non-inherently right. Not inherently right. Am I making sense? Basically what they're saying is, if there were a self, if there were an inherently existent self, if inherent existence did exist, then my view of myself being inherently existent would not be wrong. Okay. But we found there to be no self, no inherent existence. Therefore, if I do not exist inherently, then me not existing inherently also doesn't exist inherently. I'm not inherently empty of inherent existence. I'm not inherently impermanent either. Does that make sense? Because non-inherent existence is a correct view. As simple as that. I mean, kind of. It's really just a matter of, like, it needs to click. And you all have the capacity for it to happen. But it just needs, you know what happens with this kind of thinking? It makes your mind more flexible. You're kind of thinking in a slightly different way. And you can all do it, but it just takes a moment that you can stretch your mind, and it's a matter of training. Okay? All right. Then he goes on to say, thus, through the seizing of error, ignorance ceases. When ignorance ceases, formative actions and so forth cease. So once we let go of, once we understand this, we really understand that things don't exist inherently, etc. Did I leave out a verse?
No.
No. If that happens, then I lose my misapprehension of reality. If I lose that misapprehension of reality, I no longer engage in, I no longer have other afflictive emotions, and therefore I don't create actions that actually harm myself, formative actions that are responsible for experiencing birth, sickness, aging, and death uncontrollably. Okay, so it's basically, the whole thing is about, that's emptiness, if you understand that, you're okay. That's really what this whole, not verse, this whole chapter is about. Okay? Just looking at it from different angles. If anyone's afflictions existed inherently, okay, so we've been talking about the afflictions, of course, mainly. Do the afflictions exist inherently? You've heard they can't exist inherently because they depend on something non-inherently existent, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral emotions, or mistakes, I should say, mistakes. So attachment, anger, and ignorance depend on pleasant, unpleasant, and mistaken appearances, unpleasant and pleasant phenomena as well as mistaken appearances. But those cannot be found because they depend again on other things, also just labels. And therefore these afflictive emotions, they don't exist in and of themselves. Even so, their objects don't exist inherently. That which gives rise to them doesn't exist inherently. In the case of mistakes, they are not inherently mistakes either. So therefore the afflictive emotions, they don't exist. The afflictions don't exist inherently, which is why we can get rid of them. We couldn't remove them if they existed inherently. How can you remove something that is totally independent of anything else? You can't undo it, because it's just always there. You couldn't separate the mind from those. So, if anyone's affliction existed inherently, how could they be eliminated? Who could eliminate the inherent existence? You couldn't interact with the object. Couldn't do that. If anyone's afflictions, and here I made a mistake in the translation, what does it say in your text? If anyone's afflictions did not exist inherently, is that what it says?
Yes.
No, it should be, if anyone's afflictions were inherently non-existent, if anyone's afflictions were inherently non-existent, how can they be eliminated? How can you eliminate the non-existent? Right? So, either they inherently exist, if there's inherent existence, then inherently existent or inherently non-existent. But both cases don't work. Right? If something is inherently there, it's either inherently existent or inherently... So there's a difference between saying not inherently existent versus inherently non-existent. Right? It's inherently not there. It's inherent within it not to be there. If right now my anger is not there, right now I'm not angry. Right now it's non-existent in my mind. If it is inherently non-existent, I could not be angry tomorrow. I couldn't. Because it's inherent in my mind not to get angry. That's not true either. So when it's there, it's not inherently there, because if it were inherently there, it could not subside due to causes and conditions. It would just be there, it would always remain there. And if it was inherently not there, when it's not present, it couldn't arise later due to causes and conditions. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can all understand that. It's a little funny, we don't talk like that. Right? But still, it makes sense, Tom.
Can you say that it inherently comes and goes? Like that's
But if it inherently comes and goes, then coming and going implies it depends on something. But if it inherently comes, why does it come? It comes in dependence on something else.
okay.
But if it inherently comes, it doesn't depend on anything for it to come. So how could it come? You must have causes and conditions for something to come. How can to come somewhere, you need a place you can come to. But if it exists inherently, it doesn't need a place to come to. It doesn't depend on a place to come to, because it's inherently coming. Inherently means independent of anything else. It's just naturally doing that without requiring anything else. That would be bizarre.
What about randomly?
Huh?
Randomly. How it goes randomly.
I don't even think that exists. I don't think there is anything random, because that seems to suggest it happens without causes and conditions. What could happen? What action could you come up with, coming, going, or what other phenomenon could you come up with that does not depend on something other than itself to come into existence? Any example, welcome. Yeah, I'll give you some time to think. Oh, yes. The correction is,
24, 25.
yes, 25, not 24. Verse 25, the second line should read, were inherently non-existent. So, if anyone's afflictions were inherently non-existent. The second line should read, were inherently non-existent. It should not read, did not exist inherently. That was wrong. I'm sure there are other things that are wrong, but that's the one I noticed. Yes?
Can I ask about the one who is the observer, the one who chooses? If everything is in relation to something, where is the one who chooses how to respond?
Well, where's the one? That's the question. Where is the one? Is it he or she? Is it he?
Conventionally or locally?
Now it's she.
Well, actually, when we say conventionally, kind of like, yeah, in dependence on lots of other things, we label a observer based on a certain mind at a certain time, right? That's it. Just a labeled observer based on something that is labeled, a name that is given or a label that is given, based on something other than itself. That's it. Ultimately, that would mean something that doesn't depend on anything else and still observed. That's not existent. That's impossible.
So how can I choose?
How can you choose? It depends on causes and conditions. Don't get into free will. I mean, free will in Buddhism is not independent decision making because that's impossible. It depends on many causes and conditions. We label, I made a decision. Independently? No. Freely? Relatively free in relation to someone else who cannot choose between I want to be a doctor or not, because I lack the grades, for instance. There's no choice.
So how can I change?
How can you change? Well, some things you cannot change at that moment. If you want to be a doctor but you don't have the grades, you can't just change it in that moment. The only thing you can do is get the grades. Right?
How can I choose to be better?
How can you choose to be better? And if you create the causes and conditions, for instance, you come to a course like this, you pay attention, right? Pay attention to, you come to the conclusion, it makes sense, or not. If you come to the conclusion, yes, it makes sense, I'll do something, then you'll change. So there are all these moments, one moment giving rise to the next, which lead to that. Or you decide, no, I can't be bothered. Don't want to do it. And so you change anyway, but change in a way which is desirable.
Related to something else.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's take a break. 20 minutes? And you're welcome to come. No, that's it.
Well, we say random. I think we give this word, we apply the word random in relation to not a person choosing, but the computer itself chooses. But there's still someone choosing. The computer, something's not somewhere.
But there's no condition.
No, there's no condition. It's causes and conditions. So when we say random, that seems to imply
Okay.
it just happened without any, and that from Buddha's point of view would be false.
And what about to focus on prayers? It says beyond how. Like
This
there's
is-
nothing.
No, before that. Beyond karma means beyond contaminated karma.
Yes.
So just beyond contaminated karma, not karma in general. In our text, for